So I read Rubyfruit Jungle by Rita Mae Brown. It is a mid 20th century classic sapphic trailblazing novel. I don't actually have it with me because I'm currently in Denmark, so I guess I'll make it appear here. It feels very weird talking about a book that I cannot hold in my hand. I know I haven't really been posting and I do apologise. It is very hectic at the moment with my exchange programme, lots of open heart surgery, which is fun, but I don't have that much time to read, make content, etc., which is a shame, but I've not gone anywhere. I will be back. I'm having a lot of fun here. It is obscenely hot. If you couldn't tell by my frazzled hair, it's so hot here. But it is summer. Pride Month is nearly over, and there were a bevy of queer classics and amazing books of yore that I wanted to get into. I'll put some of them on the screen here. I'm sure I will get into them in the months to come. Anyways, let's talk about the book. See, I already forgot about it because I don't have it here to hold. Rubyfruit Jungle. I vacillated between greatly liking it and greatly disliking it. There are moments where it's so clever, so inspirational. It says something that really hits you to the core, especially if you're a queer person. But then there's also moments, and for me, they kind of ruin the book as a whole, that just feel quite bigoted. It's one of those where it was on the cusp of a moment where the things that it said in the 70s were progressive. I'm sure this was a book that got banned in lots of schools. I'm sure lots of Republicans were very against children or young people reading this. But it also perpetuates stereotypes that in this day and age are also harmful among the LGBT community. So it's a tough one. For me, I just think that there are better sapphic trailblazing stories out there, and that this does more harm than good. Especially for me, the thing that really took it over the edge was the needless paedophilia. There was just too much of it. And if I'm going to bash other books, other heterosexual books for needless infantilization of its characters, I said all of this about Norwegian Wood, I very much have to say the same thing about a queer novel. In fact, even more so, because the problem here is that there are people on the right side, the extremists, who will try to, demonize the queer community and make it seem like it's just a bunch of deviants. So when there are genuine instances of things that are not okay in the story, that makes me more annoyed because, it's hurting the cause and how queer people are perceived. But yes, our main character, Molly Bolts, it is a very typical queer Billings-Groman. We follow her through her upbringing. Of course, she's not treated very well. Of course, she is not treated very well. She's got her step parents. We don't really get into her real parents and who they are. What I will say, this book, oddly enough, reminded me of The Familiar, the latest Leigh Bardugo novel, because the only thing that I liked about that book was the relationship that the main character had with her stepmom and how she came to appreciate why she was such a battle axe. And this book has the same sort of character arc where it's sort of like the rehabilitation of step parents and appreciating that just because someone's not blood doesn't mean that they're evil, and that there's probably a reason behind someone, mistreating someone. So I thought that was all very compassionate and well done. But then we have to get into the bad bits. Strike one. Rita Mae Brown seems to have quite a visceral disliking of butch lesbians. There's a lot of hatred in this book towards if a woman likes a woman, then she wants her women to be feminine. She would just go with a man if the woman is that masculine. It's ooh. It's very much like the sort of lesbian equivalent of Mask for Mask in queer male spaces. It's ooh, none of this. It was really uncomfortable reading it, and I honestly, that I considered putting it down, but it's not a very long book, so I was like, okay, I'll push through. Strike Two. The book is very big on incest. There's intimacy between cousins, which, you know what, it's America. It's certain parts of America. I get it, but then it also, in like the third act of the book, it moves on to like a mother daughter situation where our main character is trying to like encourage the mother to essentially like molest her underage daughter, like brother, like why. Imagine Rita Mae Brown like writing this down, like, oh yeah, this is what the people need to read. This is the representation that lesbians are after. Like, ugh, no, 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 no. Ironically enough, I'm currently reading Middlesex, and this book, which, I mean, secretly, this could be a 5-star read. This could be my full 5-star read of the year. I mean, I'm not that far into it, but I'm currently obsessed. This book, the reason I bring it up, it features incest quite a bit as well, but in a way that somehow makes it compelling. And you know, you see the rationale behind it. You see, like, oh, here are two people that couldn't help falling in love, and then this sort of ultimate biological punishments of narrowing down a gene pool and having generations of children that come from this consanguinity. Like, this is well done and explored in a thoughtful way. Can't say that about Ruby Fruit Jungle. The incest in that, I mean, it's sort of played up in like a non-consensual, consensual type of thing. Like, and I get that that's a kink that people have, but especially with the daughter, she's 16. She is a minor. She is not a legal adult. That is not non-consensual consent. That is just grape. You know, that is just grape. And that was easily strike free for me. At that point, with all of the stuff with the mother, the daughter, and Molly, I said no. I can't recommend this book. There are some sweet platitudes and quotes that you could pull from it, you know, that you might really enjoy. But it's, you know, completely mired in all of this really harmful, problematic discourse about queer relationships and sort of opening the floodgates of what's acceptable to the point where there are legal repercussions. Like, you could say, oh, this book is just a product of its time. I'm sure back then, like, this would have been okay. I don't think grape was ever okay, you know? I don't think molesting minors was ever, like, okay in, like, America. I don't know. It's just big ick. Big ick. For me, this book can just get in the horny bin with Norwegian Wood, you know? I'm like, maybe we get our representation from a more respectable, mature place that, you know, doesn't have a multitude of illegal activity and, you know, really encouraging it as well. So, yeah, this is a skip for me.